You guys are on time. I'm on time. I've always got to look behind the curtain. Taylor.
I'm here.
Hey. There she is, the Wizard of Oz. Good to see you, so to speak. Good to see all of you, so to speak. You know how it goes. Hey, I'm glad to have you all come in here. Bunch of you come so early that you make my job easy. You give me these tickers way in advance of the show. I really appreciate that. We do have 6, actually 7 that we're going to look at. 2 of them are a team up. We got a special request here. I'll let you know what's going on when we get there. And then we've got 2 more. If you're not here yet, you're not going to hear this, so you won't realize it. Maybe I'll say it again. We're going to choose 2 more tickers from any tickers dropped during the show. We used to be full up and just never could get to them. That just didn't seem fair. By golly. So now, at least you're in the raffle. And to win, it's not luck. Bring us a hot chart. Doesn't have to be going like a skyrocket, a perfect setup, a breakout setup, you know? Hey, speaking about breakout setup, folks, I want to remind you, I put out a video yesterday that ain't getting enough love. I get a lot of comments all over the place, and I love them. Love them all, folks. I love the questions. Don't think you're bothering me. You're not. Talk to me now before I get popular and have 10,000 people I'm talking to, and I won't be able to get to them all. Fingers crossed. I put out a video yesterday that was answering a question that just keeps coming up. It's not even always a question. It's just a comment. God, I wish I could find hot charts like you do. How do you find those hot charts? Well, you know, I boiled it all down. I boiled it down to just a drop. Folks, this video is so easy that if you don't know squat, if you don't know nothing about charting, this is your video. I don't teach you how to chart. I teach you how to see a pattern on the chart, my favorite pattern, that is a breakout 6, 7 out of 10 times. It's one of the hottest patterns on the board, the atypical breakout. And I don't just show you the atypical breakout. I show you the 4 and 5 signals you need to just look at. You don't have to understand them. If you see them on the board, that's all we're talking about. You can be illiterate here. Just see a pattern. You've got yourself a hot chart. Now go read the filings and the press releases. See if you can find some hot news to match that hot chart. I show you in this, folks. This is one of the best videos I did. I mean, I could have done it better, but the information in it, it's gold, folks. Honestly, you don't have to know a lot about trading. Find what you do well and get good at that, and just keep doing that same thing over and over. Forget about everything else that comes in. Just focus on one thing consistently. That's how you make your money. So we've got a bunch of them all set up for us right now, and I'm in charge of kicking me and Taylor back and forth. So if there's a lag, it's on me.
All
right.
Clarifying that.
Make sure everybody can see me. I got a second computer here because once I leave, I can't see what's going on. All right. Got notes here. I go out digging up information, and sometimes I find stuff that's just easier to talk about than it is to share. We're looking at CNTM. This came from a YouTube comment earlier, I think maybe the very start of the morning, from Jamie Mendez. Thank you, Jamie. We appreciate this. CNTM is ConnectM Technologies. Finished today at $1.31. Ooh, bad day. Ended with almost 26% down. This is a penny stock on the major exchange. All your stocks on the major exchange come with benefits. Transactions are free. You can trade in pre-market, aftermarket. You can never do that with OTC. Heck of a lot more money and volume on the major exchange. And there's more rules. More rules that the companies have to abide by, which just makes our investments safer. Now, they tell us here that they're a shell company. They're not making any money because they're not doing any business. That's what they're declaring. So the first thing I wanted to bring up about this company that I discovered, wrong page, was they had a SPAC merger close July 15th. But from what I saw, and this is important, I'm kind of getting into Taylor's territory here. The stock was a SPAC at $10, $11, and it fell down to $2.50 before the merger closed. Now, I don't normally see that, and it seems to me this last week I've seen 2 SPACs fall before a merger closes. SPACs are worth $10 until the merger closes. If you can get into a SPAC at $6 and they fail to consummate a deal, you're going to get $10 back for every share you bought. Yes, there's a guaranteed money back guarantee with those SPACs, but we're not here for that. So the chart was at $10, really came down hard, and this was a merger deal that is now consummated. What is this company? Our all-in-one technology platform monitors and manages electrified assets throughout their entire life cycle, whether that be ACs, heat pumps, charging units, electric vehicles, anything that's running on electricity, they monitor it. They collect valuable performance data. It's all anonymous, so they're not looking at you. They're looking at the performance information. This data refines our artificial intelligence models and consistently improves the performance of the network. The more information we give AI, the more it can do for us. And it's just making our efficiency of using the electricity we're using better, plain and simple. The Energy Intelligence Network currently serves over 50,000 customers and manages more than 100,000 electrified assets. Now, as I said, they had ConnectM completed their business deal July 15th. So we're looking at just 1 month ago. That's when it closed. But if I remember correctly, the chart started to fall like on the 7th. I don't know why. I have no clue why it would do that. Looking at the news, they closed the deal on the 15th. The very next day, they had a piece of news come out. ConnectM introduces innovative AI-driven heat pump. This is a product. This is an actual heat pump that creates heat and actually creates cool air by wherever it's deriving its difference. It could be the ground, it could be water. I don't know what they used their heat pump with, but they were using services before, monitoring your electricity and being able to control how it flows. Now they've actually got a product and it's AI controlled and they think it's something very special. Then on the 6th of August, the company announced an agreement to acquire controlling interest in delivery cycle. Let me see. Did I get a piece of news from that one? Dun, 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 dun. There it is. ConnectM Technology today announced it has signed a definitive agreement to acquire a controlling interest in Delivery Cycle, a nationwide technology-enabled final mile delivery company which connects businesses looking for the last mile delivery solution with a complete network of over 500,000 drivers. 500,000 drivers in their network. That's pretty huge. God. They got this for a purchase price of $5.2 million, and the transaction closed August 5th. Back to that news. On August 12th, the company did an impact scoreboard. They were looking at all their metrics. Bottom line is they're improving across the board. Everything you look at, it's going good and better. If you want all that information, dive into that. And then their last piece of news, which came out on the 13th, the company ranks number 104 on the Inc. 5000. Out of 5,000, they're 104, which is pretty bloody good. That's the one we just read. For the third consecutive year, ConnectM earns a spot on the Inc. 5000, achieving 3-year revenue growth of 1,200%. And they break it down for each year, how it's been growing. They just keep getting bigger and bigger. Every year, they're bigger than they were the year before. That's what you're looking for in a company right there. All right, now let me see. That's going to be right. When we get to the information, I've got something from Yahoo we need to look at. Let's check out that relative volume for CNTM. Well, she was closing in on doubling her volume today, going from 1.3 million as an average over the last 30 days. Today, she was at 2.2 million. Share structure. Outstanding shares. Look at that. 7.3 million. That is low, folks. Anything under 10 million is a low float. And we're looking at a stock on the major exchange. So this is nice. Now, it's going to probably be lower. Insiders are going to own some of the shares. And if they own a ton of them, we could have a really low float. Market cap for the company, we're just at about 13 million. Now, I remember that was actually financials that we wanted to take a look at, which is the next thing. We don't have any financials over here. I went looking for them. The company did a reverse merger with this SPAC. I found the name of the company of the SPAC, tried to find the ticker, was trying to find the filings. There's normally a filing that comes out before the merger is complete. I couldn't find it. So I have no clue what the current financials are on this company. I did look around. This is as close as I can get. Best I can tell you is that between 2021 and 2022, they almost quadrupled their revenues. They were kicking butt and growing. But beyond that, I really can't tell you. I could not find a current financial anywhere to look at. Disclosures, I probably went here because this is where my financials would be. We've got nothing here since 2022. So we've got a company here that dropped for an unknown reason. Somewhere on the 7th, the 8th, she took a hard fall. They closed the deal on the 15th. Now this $10 merger stock, and understand when we say it's worth $10, this was a SPAC. These are investors that secured a ticker on the major exchange. They have no business. They have no revenues. They're looking to make a deal and make some money. So they find a company that wants to go onto the major exchange. All the shares they sold for $10, that's a big bucket of money they give to the new company so that they can spend it to expand their business and grow. They've done their research and due diligence. The company was worth a $10 share, and now it's down at $1.32. So I would be very interested in why it fell, but I see strong recovery. I see undervalue here. So to me, without looking at the chart, I did see the fall, but I didn't get a chance to study it. It looks to me like it would be a good entry, but the chart will tell us more than I'm seeing here. All right, Taylor, let me bounce you on over to your chart.
Okay. Yeah, so here's that big fall you were talking about, and by big fall, it's yeah. So the 52-week
It's off the cliff.
Yeah. The 52-week high was $12.47, and the low, which was August 5th, was 67 cents. That's a crazy big drop, obviously. So let me zoom in here to let's see. There we go. So I'm zooming into the 4-hour chart, and I'm still on regular candles here, just so I can see a little bit more of what's going on. So it kind of looks like we have a cup and handle situation a little bit. It's not perfect, but looks like it could be. So this might be a sign of recovery here, but I'm not entirely sure. Looks like this was holding up really nicely until today.
Now,
I think it had
a new stock. We don't have a 200-day on the chart.
Oh, we do. It's like way up here.
Oh, is it really?
See, it's up here.
Oh
at
my
39.
God. Yeah. So
there is one.
Just getting on top of the 50. Well, there's too much spread between the 50 and the 200. So I think if she's even strong, she's just going to go sideways until the 200 gets close enough to climb on.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. Let's see. The daily chart had it at $9.64. So this is going to be a little closer with the 4 hours because it's catching up, because it's a smaller time frame. It's going to catch up a little faster.
Right.
Catch up even more. See, here's the 1 hour. So it's caught up, obviously, because we got an even smaller time frame. Let me switch to Heikenashi's. Maybe we can see more. Well, here's what it's looking like on the 1 hour. All right.
I'd expect it to come right back down to that 200. It hasn't hit it
absolutely
since it came over.
Yeah. So that's why you got to look at all these time frames. The issue is though, like let's see, it had just such a big sharp drop today. Today it dropped 25%. I mean, we were opening up here at $1.74, ended up at $1.33. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's
you got a support there, don't you? Is that a support you got drawn?
Say what? No, I didn't draw one on this. This could be one here.
Yeah, it looks like I see one there, and let's just align because it looks like she's bouncing right there on a very strong support. Our last three bounces.
Right here is a pretty good one.
Yeah,
like around $1.27.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so she did fall hard, but she came back to where she's been bouncing. So I don't know if it's a correction and she's waiting, she got too far up. It doesn't look like it's going to continue to fall. I think she has some hope here is what I'm saying.
There could be some hope. Yeah. I mean, the low was 67 cents. So that's about at what, like half of what it is now, a little bit.
That's one way to look at it.
So like it'd take a 50% drop and go all the way back down there. But yeah, it does look like there is a little bit of support there at like $1.27. So I would say if it holds below that, then we could be coming back down. But this is starting to catch back up. It's down here now because
Looks like your oscillators are on recovery right now. They're all
this MACD is. These are starting to curl up. This one's starting to curl up as well.
Yeah. So I would be suspiciously curious to see if this bounces right there. It looks like it could be a bounce. So it's worth a watch. I mean, definitely. The company is undervalued as far as I'm concerned. It was at $10, $11. It came in through a SPAC merger, just came on the market, and it's down here in our neck of the woods. Doesn't belong here.
It wasn't even that long ago. It was at $12. I mean, it was just a month ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing that was really concerning is because it dropped so much today on the 1 hour chart, we have a death cross here because this is such a massive drop. The 9 is going to,
yeah, that's why we're watching it, because it's not picture perfect quite yet, but it's definitely in a position that it shows it's not out of control. We're just not quite sure what it's doing yet.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the next one. This comes to me. We've got the wrong page up, but I can fix that in a hurry. This comes to us from Kashera, KGKG. I am quite familiar with KGKG. Now, I haven't followed it as closely as I used to. This came into the cannabis sector back when I came into the market and only traded cannabis for 2 years. Didn't know squat else about the market. But boy, talking about cannabis, I was the man. I even got a penny stock page. It's called Penny Pot Stock. I've had it since 2018. You know how I am. I'm anal. I'm there every day posting information. I have kept that page up since 2018. What a job. KGKG is in the beverage business. When they first came on the market, they were advertising themselves as a hemp beverage, which was big back then. Anything hemp, anything cannabis was just going nuts. And they actually had a drink called Kona Gold. Kona Gold was exactly like the Monster drink. It was an energy drink, except it had a splash of organic hemp seed protein powder. This is a picture I took from 2018, back when we were talking about this company. One of the hardest working companies I've ever seen when it comes to news presses. They were getting distributorship after distributorship, 2 and 3 a week with this store, that state, this city, just busting it. They definitely go out there and work. Well, the company, when the Farm Bill was passed in 2018-19, they pulled their drink off the market, because the FDA came out and said that CBDs were not going to be considered additives to our food because they had already found a use for it for drugs. So now we've got to go through all these tests. Well, they just took their Kona Gold and disappeared. Then it was a long time later they came out with Ooh La Lemonade, and then they came out with Hydrate, and they've got all these different beverages, and now they're getting back into CBD and hemp drinks. So they've got a lot of different drinks. They've been making a lot of deals. They've been expanding into a lot of places. Going over to their news, we're not going to headline all of it, but a bunch of these. There's the Ooh La Lemonade. This came in March of 2023. They've gotten deals with Walmart. It's in Walmart stores. It's in lots of different stores out there. They unveiled their new Hydrate D9 drink. They acquire Covert LLC, a leading multi-million-dollar CPG company. This is working with consumer product goods. Now, this one I'm not too sure about. The company introduced federally legal D9 gummies and revamps innovative e-commerce platform, propelling toward $12 million annual revenue goal. Our government just passed a law here not too long ago, in the last 60 days, declaring that Delta 8 and Delta 9 THC were not legal. If these are being derived from hemp has less than 3%. You're really not supposed to be able to get high from hemp. It was meant to be for industrial purposes, our clothing, our sheets, plastic, toys. building materials, not for partying and recreational use. Well, they found that if they can extract enough plants, they can get enough THC to get you high. And they kept calling it legal because they got it from hemp, and they started selling it across borders and drawing attention to themselves. And well, the government came down fast on that. If you have Delta 9 or Delta 8 THC coming from hemp, it's illegal. So I don't know what they're going to do with those Delta 9 gummies. In April of this year, the company reported $3 million in revenues. That was for the 2024, I believe it was. Kona Gold announced its highest quarterly revenues. That was at the end of April. Kona Gold and Apple Rush, I do believe Apple Rush is on the market, AAPR, I think maybe their ticker is, execute a joint venture and manufacturing agreement. Apple Rush has their own beverage line. I believe they even expanded into alcoholic beverages. And I wouldn't be too surprised if to see they're now dabbling into CBD and hemps as well. Then here on the 16th, Kona Gold Beverage Inc. acquires Surge Distribution from Loud Beverage Group. No, they didn't. As you're going to see in the one piece of news we do look at, that deal fell apart. So that did not go through. April 25th, the company announces a name change to New Vibe. I think they're going to get a new ticker with that too. Yes, ticker VIBE will be the new one. No, I did not find a date here. They didn't give us a date when that was going to happen. Let me see. Do I still have that news up, or did I just lose it? I did just lose it. That's okay. We can come over to the last one. The company significantly reduces debt from multiple holders. Down here, reaches out to largest debt holder for debt purchase negotiation. That's always good. But it looks like they're doing it for a reason. There's a couple pieces of news that are not here. Let me see. Acquires. So they're expecting $1 million from that deal with Covert LLC. But the last piece of news, they tell us this. The company is exploring strategic reverse mergers. Reverse mergers, they're looking to get maybe an uplist to another higher ticker. Unfortunately, Kona Gold was unable to meet all the necessary terms of the acquisition agreement, resulting in the failure to finalize the acquisition and ultimate reversion of Surge Distribution to Loud Beverage. Just so you know, I'm not BSing you on that. This was a piece of news that's not over there, but I had posted this news a few days ago on Twitter and my Discord group, so I had it up here. I knew it was out there. BMAX Inc. completes acquisition of Kona Gold LLC. Now, Kona Gold LLC is a subsidiary of Kona, KKK, or KGKG, excuse me, faux pas. BMAX, a private label development company with a focus on disposable diapers and women's hygienic sanitary products, is proud to announce the successful completion of its acquisition of Kona Gold from Kona Gold Beverage. As part of the acquisition agreement, check this, BMAX Inc. will issue $200,000 in restricted common shares of BMAX Inc. to be paid to the shareholders, the Kona Gold Beverage shareholders, in a form of a dividend. Don't get too excited. They're restricted shares. Just ask those people who are still waiting with restricted shares on HNRC's WDHI. Restricted shares are worthless until they authorize them by registering them to a on-the-market company. So, okay, so we're going to get a dividend. Now, I was reading through this, and it sounded like, now, first off, what is it that they're buying? From all I can see, the Kona Gold. The Kona Gold is what they had before the Farm Bill was passed, and we haven't seen it. I keep seeing pictures of it, even see it on their website, but you don't hear them talking about it. They're selling it now to this company, but it doesn't sound like they're stepping back. It sounds like Kona Gold and BMAX are working together. Some sort of joint venture here. It doesn't just sound like a right-out sale. So maybe some more research there. So what was the relative volume around this company today? Boom! God dang, look at that. That is 10 times the normal volume, and it's not little volume. She was doing 52 million shares. Now she is cheap. She's down here at 0005. She had a down day. She was down about 8%. She's on the floor of the OTC, the pink. They're risky because we don't get a lot of validated information down here. But we've got all the validated information you should expect. Transfer agent verified and a verified profile. So they look decent in that regard. 0005 is where I start to look at stocks in the 000 zone because they start to warm up. You start to see little bubbles at the bottom of the pan of water. Up to that point, it's just still water. And I'm not staring at still water. So there's a chance it could start to heat up from this point. Get close to 001, catch my attention. Hit 002, I've made 100% gains at that point. And she starts to get into second and third gear and move a little faster. So we had over a 500 million shares today. Now, look here, folks. Not to be overlooked. I want to refresh this page right now. We are at the OTC markets. This is the updated information for the entire OTC markets. They did 3.3 billion shares today. All 12,200 companies. Only $1.5 billion generated. Before COVID, that number was between 60 and 70 billion shares a day for the same amount of companies. Well, this company got over 500 million. That is 1/6, 1/7 of all the shares in the market. So these 12,280 companies got cheated. One company took 1/7 of all the shares on the market. That's something. Share structure for KG. Oh my God. She got a ton of shares. We got over 4 billion shares outstanding. Insiders have less than 500 million. So we've got over 3.5 billion. When the stock starts to move, and look, there's probably going to be a reverse split. If they're looking at a reverse merger, they got to get up on another exchange. To get to the QB, you got to be at least a penny. At least a penny. That's 4. We're 4 times away from that at least. No more than that, 40. Yeah, 40 times. If they go to the NASDAQ, they got to be at $3. You can't kick the price up without changing the share structure. And they got plenty of shares to make the move if they intend to do it. The one thing I can say is when a company does plan to uplist and they're serious about it, they're not just talking, you will see independent directors listed over here. You cannot uplist without independent directors. I don't know if KG even has directors. You may need to dive into the filings to find out. Market cap for the company, we're at about $2.5 million for 4 billion shares. Wow. Financials for the company, all over the place. Before COVID, they were at $1.6 million. Don't forget those 3 zeros up there. Dropped under $1 million at COVID. That's explainable. Then jumped up to 2.5 and kicked up to 4.4 million. And we're almost getting to take home $1 million in profit. Quarterly reports. Hey, how about that? Let me see what we got going on here. Oh, going the wrong direction. So she was at 1.1 million a year ago. We're about half of that right now, just closing in on 700,000. Yes, we are still making profit. Yes, we are still in the black. Things are changing. Things are definitely changing here, folks. Balance sheet for the company. We've got $369,000 in the bank, about 1.5 million in assets. Total liabilities is about 7. So we are holding about 5.5 million in stockholder deficit. That's not the company's, that's ours. That explains why you got a low price. You want to figure out what the company's worth from an assets point of view, take all the shares and divide it into that number down there. Well, that's a negative number. So what do you get for a price of your stock? A negative number. So we're lucky that we're even there right now. Let's take a look at our disclosures. Notification of late filing. So they're late filing. That just came out yesterday. What are they late filing? Their financials, right? Yeah, they're late financials. Now, I'm not sure if this on the OTC buys them any extra time. When you do this on the major exchange, it'll buy you 5 days. There it is. Grants issuers 5 additional calendar days. So they're not in any trouble. They're not even being looked at right now. They've told everybody they're going to be late. Now, there is a trick. I see this happen a lot. there's certain companies that when they file these late notices about their financials coming out in just 5 days, the stock runs on the late notice. It'll start to run. And then when the financials come out, whatever they are, it's already run. So whatever they are, it comes back down. The price is already built in. So they've got 5 days to get this taken care of. By the 19th, they should have them out if they are up to par. Let's see here, the 15th. They were late. The last time they filed late, they didn't get it in 5 days later, but they did get them in. It seems that's a recent thing here. Again, maybe they're dropping the ball right now. The money's dropping. They're late on their filings on a regular basis. They've just sold one of their subsidiaries. They're looking for a merger. A lot of change going on right now. All right, so that's everything we've got to look at for KG, probably more than you were expecting. Taylor, it's on you. Oh, heck.
Actually, it's on you.
You got me. Oh, man. There you go.
Okay. Yep. All right. So I was just I'm looking at the daily chart with regular candles. So I noticed we had this, consolidation area. This is between 0004 and 0006. And then we just started breaking out. And then this turned into a bull flag, broke out again. We went all the way to a 0063. So that we lost an entire zero, plus got a little more on top of it. That's crazy. I love those big runs like that. That's just crazy.
You lose a zero. That's a minimum of 1,000% gain.
1,000%. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So the problem, though, we got this head and shoulders pattern, which did play out pretty much textbook. Now we're back down to this area where we were before, which is like between 0004 and 0006. You can see we kind of hit it a few times and came back up. So you can tell this candle here, this last daily candle, we have a tail. So that's good, even though it is red. So it didn't fall below this. It came right back up. So I would say that this is a pretty good support area. It's, a little bit wide, but it's a support area it keeps coming back up. So that's good. I kind of marked off this area because this is 0015. It looks like it was resistance, support, resistance. So we need to get back up there if we want to, turn this into a reversal. But right now we're just kind of down here hanging out in this.
It's acting like your typical area. OTC stock. It goes showing us that it's got something to give, and then it comes right back to the dumb zone.
And we had a lot of volume today, so let's see what happened.
Yeah, negative.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a lot more volume than usual.
Yeah, there was. 1/7 of all the volume on the OTC went to this company.
Oh, okay, nice.
And she didn't move far for it.
No, it's just been kind of up and down. So this is pre-market here. This is the 1 hour chart, by the way.
What a waste of volume.
And then we just kind of went up and down right in this area, like exactly within this 0004.
Now, I'm not seeing anything I like in that chart. I used to really like KG because they were growing so bloody quick. Then they put on the brakes and then came back out again. But I don't know. It's a bad time to be trying to launch on the OTC. We just don't have the volume to support the companies doing all the hard work. There's not enough love to go around, and babies are dying.
Yeah, I mean, this really didn't do anything today. This is all from today. We can drop it down to 15. So yeah, we've got crappy looking candles. So we'll just look at it like this.
Until she gets on top of that 200, and it looks like it still looks. The only thing I see is you got a double bottom there. Yeah, right there. So maybe she'll pop right now up to the 200, but unless she keeps going, it's looking sad. And I think everybody's going to wait for some news for a reverse merger.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, it's just back into this area where from before the initial breakout, it was consolidating within this range for several months, kind of like a lot of these stocks that we've seen. So it's kind of back to where it feels safe.
Looks boring to me, so we're going to look at something more exciting.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right, we have got Himalaya. We have looked at Himalaya a while ago. I don't remember how long, but I do remember we looked at Himalaya. This was Velmore's choice. She gave me a choice of 2 stocks today, either AHRO or this one. I looked at both of them. I can't tell you if I actually rejected AHRO, but I chose Himalaya for a reason. She is a contradiction, an oxymoron. Looking at this company, Himalaya Technologies, well, it's down now. Look, when I saw, I'm sure Taylor will be able to fill us in here, but I swear to goodness, I looked at this earlier and this was at 42% up. It said 42%. And the news I saw all looked good. And then I saw the most recent filing and it's like, what? So I think I'm sharing this because I don't think most are going to be aware of what I'm going to share with you here. Himalaya Technologies finished today at 0008. Right now, she's up about 14.5%. She is on that bottom tier, the pink of the OTC. She's got one of those validated information, transfer agent verified, and they tell us she's a shell risk. Now, shell risk in its basic meaning is that they're in business doing something, but they're not making any money. Well, that's not exactly true. They just passed a new rule here, I think it was in June, that if a company makes a purchase with a company that has assets of a certain amount, they are considered in business because of that transaction in itself. Even though they're not doing anything else to generate revenues, that constitutes business. And even though they're not, it comes up shell risk. We'll figure this out when we get to the financials. So we've got a description here about the company. Himalaya Technologies, a development stage company, provides information services for the cannabis industry in the United States. It operates a Cannab Club, a social site for health and wellness products and services in the cannabis media market. I haven't seen anything about that anywhere. I did dive over to their website, browse through it to see. I didn't see anything about cannabis mentioned anywhere. This is what I have found. All right. All of this news sounds pretty bloody good. Himalaya announces management change and the launch of Everest, LLP. Himalaya to buy Mad Hatter Society. Himalaya announces intent to acquire Mad Hatter Society. NSAV, a company on the market, announces partnership with Himalaya. Himalaya provides Everest token update. Himalaya Technologies rebrands their FOMO energy and announces Cryptility 2024. We got deals. We got products. We got partnerships. This is all between May and June of this year. Great. No, it ain't. When you come over here to, well, first off, that's what they say they're doing now. We are listed on the OTC. We are a technology development company dedicated to nurturing and launching innovative projects enhanced by blockchain and AI resources. Pretty generic. I found the most recent, not actually the most recent, it was this 8K down here. I read this one, and then I was checking out this. This blew my mind. All this information is not good. On July 5th, all the news was up to June, May and June. On July 5th, 2024, we terminated our engagement with Innov Agency for strategic development of our existing business initiatives, including social networks, health energy drinks, and crypto tokens. The next day, July 6th, we terminated our strategic development agreement with Big Footing Market, BFM, for the development of health and beauty drink under the FOMO brand trademark. They say that this was their formula, which was redeveloped and taken unauthorized rebranding to Everest trade name. So they've got some legal action going on here with the formula that they had, and they are looking at legal remedies for this. But we ain't done. Also on July 5th, we appointed Vikram Grover to our board of directors. And because of that, Ryan Nugent emailed us an unsigned, unexplained resignation as our CEO and director. Boink. You just had big management walk off without even telling you why. We're not done. On July 5th, we also terminated our letter of intent to acquire Mad Hatter Society. That deal's gone now. July 6th, we terminated our strategic partnership with Net Savings Link. And that one's gone. And all the crypto tokens and everything they were working with, not doing it. July 7th, we were notified that BotLogic Labs terminated its crypto development agreement with Everest Token, which was all tied into all these other deals. Domino effect. Everything just fell down. The house of cards is gone. So I don't know what the hell we're looking at now, folks. A big mess. So there's not a whole lot. You know, we could go through the financials and stuff, but they are before that filing came out. So I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do. What's going on? Sounds like everything that the stock has been building up for, and I haven't looked at the stock. I don't know what the chart looks like. But with that sort of news, I would have anticipated it has been climbing. And now, how many people go into filings like I do? I'm not saying I'm better. It's just, you know, a lot of people don't. And there was a lot of information there they have not put out in a news press. There's no news press after June. You had a right to know that stuff if you're an investor. Shame on them. So what was the relative volume around the company today? A little less than her average. She's normally doing 6 million shares. Today she did 5.5 million shares. Share structure for the company? I was expecting billions. No, we're down there at about 400 million. The insiders have about 10% of that, 40 million. We get the rest, 360 million. That's all standard. Par for the course. Look at that itty bitty market cap, $281,000. Boy, good thing they don't have a criteria down here. Financials for Himalaya. Are they making any money? No, not for a real long time. Nope, still not making any money at all, but they are considered in business. So something has happened. You know, it was probably one of those deals they made. Like I was saying, they were making a lot of deals. They probably got something that made it look like they were in business, and now that's stuck there when they're back to ground zero. So look at here. They got nothing in the bank. Absolutely zilch. Total assets, $88,000. Bet a lot of us got more than that in the bank. Total liabilities, 10 times that almost, 821,000. So it ain't very much, but it's not positive. We got about $750,000 in deficit with no revenues, no deals on the table, backing out of everything. No, what happened to FOMO now? Are they even going to have that beverage? I know they got rid of the Everest token. I mean, they're getting rid of everything. So to me, it looks like an implosion. Management walking out, all the contracts being broken. Nobody wants to move forward with this company. Is that the problem? So I would consider doing a lot of due diligence before you got into this company, or just find another one. Disclosures for the company. Oh, we already been here. That's where all the meat was at. That's right. All right. I am curious to see this chart, Taylor. So let me toss you over there before I tell you to do it yourself.
Okay.
Oh, we have looked at it before.
Oh, yeah. So these dates are just all the times we looked at it: September, December, and June. So that's what these arrows mean. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, look at that chart.
So this is probably what you were seeing, that it was up here at like 001 something, and then it came back down. That's the daily candle. That's probably why you said it was 40% instead of 14.
Right. It doesn't take much movement to get a big gain down at those levels.
Right. Yeah, when it's this low, yes. Oh, it looks like it came up and hit the 200 and then came right back down. So that's probably what happened. So here's what it looks like on the 4-hour chart. Let me switch to Heikin-Ashi so we can see what's going on.
Yeah, show me Heikin-Ashis. Yeah, I like those.
Yep. Yeah, I like to do the regular candles just so I can see gaps and stuff like that. And then I switched here. So all these lines were already drawn. So this was I think this was a major one here. Obviously this yellow one. We have completely broken through all of these, and it's not looking that great. Went all the way down to this low of 0005. Now we're up above here, but we're not really holding anything. It's coming up and then right back down, just like here, coming up right back down. After this drop, that was like at the beginning of July, so a little over a month ago.
And right now it looks perfect. She was going sideways, waiting for those SMAs to come around. And there's the 50, and she stretched for it, eager. I got to get out of this hole, like ready to climb.
That all happened, though. It looks like that 4-hour, it started off. Let me do the 1 hour instead, actually. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's easier to see it like this. So this was pre-market, this brown area. So it did jump at like in the looks like in the morning, sometime in the morning, and then came right back down. But it is trying like it did here and here, but we're still
Yeah,
back into this.
I see those first two you showed there. They knew the price I see as a living thing. It knows that the 50's coming, and it's like waving. Come here. It's like the plane coming to, land and take me away. And now that the 50 gets real close, now it jumps on board. The plane's landed. Let's get on board the damn thing and start to fly. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, so but
Fantasy
keep in
Island.
mind that the 200 is going to be way up here.
We need an airplane.
Way up here. So that's on the 1 hour. So it's still, so even on the smaller time frame, it's pretty far away. I mean, this is
now
like
what's the 5 minute look like?
Let's do 5, yeah. Gonna be a lot closer. Oh, it came above it.
Yeah, see, I'm feeling some heat here. I can't see the light from it, but I can feel heat. The chart is holding something here. I think we should watch it. In my opinion, I think she's got something going on right now. So I would at least put this on my watch list. She has met all of the SMAs except the 200 here. She's now met it. That's her first step up. She's got to find these 200s and jump on each one of them on each time frame to get up. Here we are at the first step.
And I mean, the last couple of weeks we've had higher highs a few times. That's good.
That doesn't look all that bad.
It's not terrible, but yeah. I mean, I think we need to get above here, ideally up here, but that's 100% jump from where we are now. Keep that in mind.
Right, 100%.
Watch, sure.
And when you're this cheap, it doesn't take a big move to make you quick money. You just got to take it. Most people think it's going to go. Okay, if it's still going to grow, sell something. Look, folks, if you're waiting till the stock turns red before you're encouraged to sell, you don't understand the concept behind trading. You sell as you're climbing. Don't wait for it to fall. Take gains. But I'm losing money. You're thinking about it wrong. That's your obstacle right there. You're not losing money if you're selling on the way up. You're minimizing risk. You're taking gains, and you're still in the game because it's not an all or nothing decision. Take something when it's climbing. Don't wait for it to fall before you make that decision. Sorry, I got off on a tangent there.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, I know I'm good. All right, I'm liking that chart, but we got more to talk about. So let us jump on back here to my stocks. What have we got next? All right, we have a special request coming in. I've never done this before. I was just in a good mood today, so we are going to do this. Monty said, I'm really not interested in the stock information. I really am interested in the charts. He wants Taylor. Fine. Fine. So he wanted to see Sharps Technology, and he wants to also look at TIVC. Now, we've talked about Sharps Technology many times. Sharps Technology is in the disposable syringe business, the hypodermic needles. We had the FDA come out and not only ban Chinese, but recall the ones we had here in the country. Became a big gulf of need there. This company stepped in, and just to put a bottom line, they have been growing fast, not only with a ton of orders coming in for millions of dollars for many years, but they're getting more facilities so that they can do more and more of this. So the company's been exploding for that reason. The next one that Taylor's going to cover will be Tivic Health Systems. I just covered this company last week, I think. This is a company that's working with electronic medicine. They have a product already that helps your sinuses. You turn it on and it does something. I don't know what, but it clears up your sinuses, whether it's from allergies, the flu, whatever's clogging you. This thing cleans you out somehow. And now they're working on a separate device that is working with the nerves alongside your neck. And these attach to your heart, your lungs, even your brain. and they think they may be able to help heart attack victims, epileptic victims, all this sort of stuff. And they're pushing forward with that too. So I've done my part. Now we're going to let Taylor do her part. First one, which one you want to look at, Taylor?
I have STSS up.
There you go then, STSS.
Oh, this one. There we go.
Gotcha.
Well, I was looking at it. So, whoops, actually, let me go back to the daily chart. So, the reason this is pointed out is because we looked at it on July 25th. So, not that long ago, less than a month ago.
Right. It was obviously a hot day. We looked at it.
Yeah, it was. So now if you're looking at just the daily chart, kind of looks like it was flagging out, and then we kind of like dipped below the support area, but then came right back up. Now it looks like we're flagging out again, and it's pretty consistently, up here in this area. It's not really going up or down. It's just kind of consolidating. See, these bodies are real short, these candles. So, that's not too terrible. Let me make sure. Yeah. Oh, no.
Ooh, that was ugly.
No. That's not what I meant to do.
That looked like a Halloween chart, but bunch of skeletons and tombstones.
I know if I double click this, for some reason it clicks the wrong thing. I'm sorry about that. So I already had this marked off, this low, or no, like the support at like around 20 cents. Now we're at like 24 cents. I kind of like this area here because this is where we dipped down and came right back up. So that's why I marked this off. And we're right there at the bottom of that again. Now see, all these SMAs are lined up the opposite way. We got 9 at 21.50, 200. And this is on the 4 hour. So that's not exactly ideal. Look at this.
Right.
Here's what's happened today. We had a big drop today, right at that support that I had drawn. So
that's one of our worst days in a week. Yeah, she's back to that.
Yeah, that was all today, and so we're now back to this support area. I mean, I don't think that that necessarily means it's dead, because I mean this shot down and then came up and hugged.
Yeah, the only thing you can say is your 200 is climbing, and it is the predominant SMN, and the other ones will work around it.
Yeah, on the 1 hour it is.
That's one hell of a drop.
A lot of these good days, and it's not necessarily higher highs or lower highs. I mean, it's pretty much it's coming up to this area of like 27, 28 cents every time, and then just coming right back down. So I'm not sure what it's. There's you can mark off something here like right around like this 28 cents. See, we're reaching for that. So I think anything in between here we're doing. I don't like that this isn't immediately coming back up like it did here during the day here. You see how that came up, and,
I agree.
And we did kind of hug around that. This one kind of consistently dropped, and we have a lot of these red candles.
And your oscillators are still showing weakness.
Yeah, these aren't very good. Let me see. Yeah, so here's the MACD, and then we don't have. We're not showing any signs of recovery here. All of these are the opposite way, and then this one's off the chart, as in it could be like a little bit
of the basement floor.
Yeah, like a little bit of oversold territory, perhaps. But I mean, I think if we don't reclaim this and maybe come up to, and even in the middle here, like this 25-cent area, that's not super far, but like 25, 26 cent area, like right where this was completely flat, then we could see even lower. But right now, as long as we're staying above this, and we still have hope. So if you're in this, it's not all hope is lost. But I do like this area here. There's a lot of support and then a lot of resistance. So ideally, we'd like to see above 28 cents for this to show.
That's the support I'd be looking for too. I mean, it looks a solid one.
Because it's and then this was all the way back here. This is like the end of July. So I mean, that's a really good area. You can see this kind of coming up here, and then it hit here. I mean, that's a perfect. I mean, it's not perfect,
my overall feeling
resistance right there around 28 cents is what I'd be looking for. Yeah.
My overall feeling is she's going to break that resistance or that support and come down further.
It could.
I'm just not feeling the bounce. I'm looking at that last surge. I'm looking at where she was at before that surge, and I'm thinking, I think she's going to probably come down to the bottom of that big bar, not the beginning of the surge, but that big volume day. That's what I'm thinking, because she's got a lot of momentum coming down right now. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? God, let me tell you what. I'm wrong more often than I'm right. I'll be honest. I ain't gonna lie about that. And if you went through my videos, you may find that, well, no, I normally do a report card on myself. I'm right about 56%, which isn't the best, but it isn't the worst.
It could always be worse, yeah.
Take a look at another stock. This next one is I think we are looking at, oh no, you've got to do the other chart.
Did you talk about it?
I'm sorry, that was my bad. I just had the old habit of one chart.
Let me switch to it.
That was TIVC.
Yep, I got it up here. So this is regular candles on the daily chart. I noticed, I don't know what happened here on May the 8th, because we had a lot of volume. It opened here at $1.55 and closed at $1.33, and the next day completely gapped down 61 cents, lost a ton. And it looks like we've all but almost filled that gap, because we had another spike here at the end of July. But as you can see, we're down here pretty much at its 52-week low. It's like 28 cents, give or take. I didn't look up the exact number, so you don't quote me on that, please. It just had an earnings report come out. So it has, here's its reported and estimated earnings, and that was a positive, but then revenue was a surprise of negative. But I don't know what was said in the report. I don't know anything about this. So
this fell on May 8th?
Yes. Well, May 8th was this day, and then it opened way down here on May 9th.
Yeah, so it fell May 8th. They had a filing come out, and it was in the news press, and it was a deal that they made with the university to help them promote their new product. Again, I don't understand why it would fall. I read that piece of news. I didn't see anything bad in it. That's one heck of a fall for nothing bad in the filing.
Yeah, it's a huge fall. Yeah.
God.
So even that day it opened at 61 cents, but our 52-week low is over here at 28 cents, which is very close to where we are now. And they might have announced something at their earnings. I don't know, or they're reacting to this. I honestly don't know, but it did not help. And there wasn't a huge spike in volume. That was near the end of July when this started coming back up. But yeah, it's just been kind of falling. See this or not kind of falling, it has been falling.
Boy, it's really on that support, isn't it?
And by support, I mean it's 52-week low. So it's not.
Yeah, the floor, the basement floor.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, if she's going to bounce now, the only thing I see there, we got a flat 200. I'm always looking for a flat 200. That's when you get things starting to turn up, and you can get a bounce off of the floor. So things could be here setting up for a bounce, but it's all guesswork to me, folks. TIVC, I like the company. I did a video on it because I liked it. Obviously the chart is not responding. She's been falling here, and
here's the last few days on the 1 hour.
Like I don't know, 23 different countries through Walmart, Best Buy. I mean, her products are out there. So I'm not sure why she's not getting any love.
No, this is the 1 hour. Looks pretty bad. Yep.
Yeah, again, I don't know if that floor is enough to
lower lows a lot. I mean, yeah, I mean that's just the current floor. That doesn't mean, people always say, oh, it's the all-time low, I'll just buy here. Well, it can always go lower than the all-time low. Unless it's at 0001 when you can't buy it anyway, like below that. But yeah, we're at 28 cents or 20. Yeah, about 28, 29 cents.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a bargain, this may be a bargain, but you don't want to. Now, it is an all-time low, or at least a 52-week low. So if you're looking for an entry, this would be a good place to get a starter position. You can't doubt that. The absolute lowest it's ever been. It could go lower, though, and then you'll get another handful for a really good price. So, this isn't a bad zone if you're looking for entry. If you're looking for a surge, a bounce, some activity. We've got some waiting to do, Lucy. We got to see what's going on here for sure, because that's a lot of momentum. That's been days of falling right now.
Okay. I was just told that the 52-week low was actually 28.13 cents. So I was off by a few decimal place or a few fractions of a cent. Sorry about that. That was on July 23rd. So it's not quite on that, but close enough.
All
It's
right,
pretty
so
low
she's in
there.
a
It's busted.
tailspin. That's what's going on with
Okay.
TIVC. She's got a good future, but not with the chart. The chart pretty stinky right now. All right, now we can get back to another ticker. This one is NWBO. NWBO came to me from Underdog. This is Northwest Biotherapeutics. Northwest Biotherapeutics finished today just under 35 cents, and she was down a little bit, about 3.25%. She is on the middle tier of the OTC, the QB. We call it the better tier. It's better than the pink. Pinks don't have any validated information. You got to have it here. Got to get an auditor in there, to CPA, to do your financials. And your stock can't be under a penny. So there's no sub penny stocks on the QB. We've got validated information to go with those validated numbers now, and they've listed independent directors. Now, maybe they uplisted the QB and used them, and it's still sitting there, or maybe they seriously have plans of going up higher, and that's why they're there. In either case, it's an important thing. So this is a development stage biotech biopharmaceutical company. They are involved with making drugs. Northwest Biotherapeutics is a biotechnology company focused on developing personalized immunotherapy products that are designed to treat cancers more effectively than current treatments, without toxicities of the kind associated with chemotherapies and on a cost-effective basis. The company has a broad platform technology for DCVax dendritic cell-based vaccines. The company's lead programs involves DCVax treatment for glioblastoma, which is the most aggressive and lethal form of primary brain cancer. This has been given orphan disease designation. The company has completed 331 patient phase 3 trial for the DCVax for the cancer of the brain. And they have presented these results in scientific meetings, published those results in the JAMA Oncology, and submitted an MAA for commercial approval in the UK. Now, they don't mention anything here about the USA. They're talking about completing a phase 3 trial for this drug. That's pretty impressive. But just because it's phase 3 passed in the UK doesn't mean it's going to be available here. It won't. So I don't know anything about what's going on here in the United States. But they are pushing to get these commercialized. That's what they need. Research and development companies are spending money all the time. They got to pay everybody for all the research they're doing. You want to start making some money sooner or later. And this is a big deal, getting one of them drugs on the market. Now, they have lots of candidates based around that DVax. And they've got one drug in phase 1 trial. They've got another one moving into phase 2 trial. So there's a lot of information that you want to jump into to learn about. Looking at the news from the company, most of the news is about them advancing their most lead candidate into commercialization. That's what they want. They're tired of spending money. They want to start making it. In December of last year, the company announced that a marketing authorization application had been submitted to the UK. In February of this year, the company moved from optimization of FlaskWorks prototype to fabrication. So now they're actually making the drug so it can be tested. They've been doing all of this in-house testing. Now they're trying to get it further out. Northwest Biotherapeutic announces exclusive in-license of portfolio of dendritic cell technology and intellectual properties. This was halfway through June. I'm not quite sure what the in-license means. It's not out-licensed. It's not been licensed by the FDA. It's something else going on. Probably have another company that is helping them with research and they've licensed it out to them or something. And then we've got an annual shareholders meeting here. I went through that just to make sure there wasn't anything, like a reverse split or something like that. Everything was approved, but it had more to do with the directors coming in, how to pay these people, things like that. And let's see. I opened this up for a reason. I don't know why I had that opened up. All right. We are going to look at the volume. When we look at the volume, well, we can look at it here. Volume for the company today was about 750 million, which is really low compared to what she's been doing. You can see there every day she's been 4 million, 3 million, 1 million, 2 million. It's been in the millions for days and days and days and days. Today she fell hard under a million. Taking a look at the share structure for the company, a lot of shares, 1.2 million. I don't know what the insiders own. This very well could be our float. It's from the 14th of this month. The DTC, this is where you will find the float when you can get it all together. The DTC is like a pipeline. This is where your transfer agent is moving the shares when they're being bought and sold. They actually have to move. Shares actually still move. So we could have 1.1 billion shares out of the 1.2 billion shares. Woohoo! Market cap for the company, we're just under $500 million. Financials for NWBO. Well, the company's got money coming in. I don't see that it costs them anything. So this could be a license deal. You get money, you just letting people use your product, you get paid for it. That don't cost you nothing. Very well could be what it is. Digital products don't cost you anything. Consultancy business, just giving advice, that doesn't cost you anything. So let's see here. They've been growing, bouncing around from 1.2 up to 1.9 million, and they got to keep all of it, every single dollar they're making, and they're still doing that. Up here till June of 2024 when they did $510,000 and got to keep every single penny. Good. That means they don't have to go putting more shares on the market. Not that they got a whole, I think we had 1.7 billion. So they got about $500 million more shares they could put on the market if they wanted to. Money in the bank, we got about 2.8 million. Total assets, 28 million. Total liabilities is way above that, 81 million. Ouch. So we got a lot of stockholder deficit in this company, about $77 million, which really isn't surprising. Research and development have been building up deficit. I mean, they're not making any money yet. They're lucky they can keep going to get to the finish line. And then once you get to the trials, it costs a whole heck of a lot more money to pay all the people doing the trials and all the people who are working for the trials. It's a lot of money from A to Z. Taking a look at the disclosures for the company. We got a Form 4 here. Form 4s are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock. They can do that in a lot of different ways. But as investors, we're most interested when they buy them or sell them. And you can dive into these real quick. Up here will be whoever is doing it. Here it tells you who they are in the company, what date it occurred. And then right here, we don't even get it because this isn't a normal one. Underneath here, you would have lines like this. The code would have a P for purchase, S for sale. If it's any other letter, M, K, V, no, we're not interested in any of those. It'll tell you how many shares and how much they paid or sold them for. So it's a real quick one to jump into. And here, explanation. This is a gift from Dr. Bosch to the family members who do not share same residence. See, I told you, you can get them for a lot of different reasons. They got them as a gift. I can hear the jingle bells in the background. And then you got their most recent financial, which just came out on the 9th. You really want to get into the company's history, especially when it comes to these research and development pharmaceuticals. Forget about the news presses. Forget about Google. Just dive into a financial. It's got all the information about every single thing they've done. And if you're looking for something particular, like what's just happened recently, use your search bar. Put in 2024. Boink, only 2024 comes up and you get all the current information without going through all 89 pages. Yeah. All right, that's my job done. Taylor, it's now on you.
Actually, it's on you to flip me over. Okay, so we looked at this back in September, so it's been a while. But I like looking at things that we haven't looked at in a while because all of these lines, I want to see, like we had I drew this line because of what happened in May of 2022. What's crazy about that is look
No.
how this acted as support. Isn't that crazy?
See?
Went right to it.
Algorithms are like elephants. They never forget.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I did not draw that line today.
Wow, 2
I
years
drew this.
old.
Yeah. Yeah, that was from May of 2022. I drew that line and it's like it came right to it and was like, "Oh." But it broke through that, and so our new low is now around 29 cents from just last week. So that's not good. But yeah, we were looking at it up here and I was identifying like areas of support. I had this one up here at 78 cents. Well, we're way down here now. So let's zoom in here and see what's going on. Look at the 4 hour. These are regular candles. So let me switch to Heikin-Ashi now. So here's what it looks like now. That kind of actually shows signs of life when you zoom in on it.
Yeah, yeah. Just now it's showing signs that maybe, hopefully, it's deciding to change its trend.
Yeah, yeah, it could be. It looks like this kind of looks like a bull flag here. I this old level of support, and then now it's kind of resistance. I would like to see it come up and try to test this line.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's pretty close. I
And
mean,
what's that at?
it came. This is at like just under 39 cents, and it
Okay.
recently just came to just under 38 cents. So it was like a penny off. That's pretty good.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, and it acted as support right here, and that was an old line. So I like that. I like when it does that.
Yeah, that's
And
not looking bad. That's
mhm,
looking good too.
here's
And
the
it's
1
coming
hour.
down to its 20 with the controlled drop and pop. Yeah, I'd be watching this. This is something that looks right for tomorrow morning.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, because I mean we had like a breakout here and it's
Uh-huh.
kind of flagging out and it's drop below the 9,
I
and then
mean, it
now
needed to pull
it hit
back
the
because that
21
9
and
was
then
getting way far away from the 20.
yeah, it's starting to get closer cuz see you can see
Oh,
this
yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
rounds
that's what the
out.
drop does. Yanks that
Yeah, yeah,
SMAs
this is
together.
rounding out and then the 200 is coming right to it. These are within a fraction of a cent apart. And then this is the 21 and then this is the
I'm
50.
liking
So,
that chart. That's not
mhm.
looking bad at
No,
all.
no, not bad at all. It was showing signs of life. But, when you zoom out, it shows that it's, just
Yeah,
pretty
and
much dying.
but
But
as a day trader,
yeah,
you're looking for those days because even a stock that's falling has days it bounces up.
yeah,
And as a
of course.
day trader, you want to catch that day because the
Right.
rest of the days it's falling again. So you've got to time it. And this looks like a pretty good time to consider this one. I don't think she's done with her downtrend, but I wouldn't miss a day of popping.
Yeah, and I mean if we can reach this level, then we might have a situation where we can come up above that and maybe change the trend totally and it could act as a new support or
That's
a
what
new
we
old
need.
support, whatever.
That's what we need.
What was that?
Got anything else to say about her?
That's about it for this one. Yep.
I know I call them hers. I call cars hers. I call every dog is a her. Even when I can see its stuff hanging off the back of it, I see it. I still call it a her. It's a bad habit, but not with men and women. I've gotten that straightened out, and now they're trying to tell me. Now they're trying to tell me that sometimes I'm wrong, and it's like, okay, I'm not that old. All right, next stock is the last stock we have set up to look at. This is CDT. CDT came to me by way of Random. Random actually wanted to look at Serve, SERV. That's a stock over 10 bucks. $5, $6. Sometimes we'll stretch out there to peekaboo at them because they used to be a penny stock. But 10, 11 bucks, that's a whole nother neck of the woods. So we're not looking at it, though. He was right. It's a stock to at least be looking at if you're into those sort of stocks. So we are now looking at CDT. Conduit Pharmaceuticals finished today just under 16 cents. She was up almost 7%. This is a penny stock on a major exchange, coming with all those benefits I told you about at the very beginning of the show. So what did I learn about this stock? They are advancing their key candidate drugs through phase 2 trials. That's right. I'm all caught up now. So Conduit Pharmaceutical has developed a unique business model. I read this 3 or 4 times trying to figure it out. Maybe you can. To bring medicines to patients. Its novel approach addresses unmet medical need and lengthens the intellectual property for its existing assets through cutting-edge, solid form technology, then commercializes these products with life science companies. That's their special business model. You can boil it down later. Our lead program is a phase 2 ready HK4 glucokinase activator targeting autoimmune diseases that has undergone 20 plus clinical trials in over 1,000 patients. Now, the company had news that has been coming out here recently. I've been posting it on Twitter. I do believe I was even looking at the chart. I think the chart was catching some good activity. Back in June, they told us they are going to be joining the Russell 3000. This is going to give them more exposure. You normally get more institutional investors if you can get onto the Russell 3000. The SPY is an ETF, just like the Russell. The SPY chooses 500 top companies. The Russell chooses 3,000 top companies. Then it breaks it down. You got your Russell 2000, which is the bottom 2,000, and the Russell 1000, which is the top 1,000 companies. I think that's done at the end of the year. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think it's actually done yet. The company received patent approval for its lead asset targeting autoimmune diseases. That came through halfway through July. You want to protect your assets. They're getting these things into phase 2 trials. You better have it patented. You better have it protected. Somebody may leak your information out before you do. On the 8th of August, the company enters into an exclusive license agreement with AstraZeneca, the huge pharmaceutical company, for multiple assets to advance potential first-in-class treatments. I do believe I brought this one up. Yeah, so what you've got here, their HK4. Now, let me see that last piece of news. I need to check that last piece of news. Yeah, all right. Conduit selects initial indications for lead clinical trials. The HK4 that they have can work on a lot of different things. I don't know all the different things it can work on, but maybe it works on headaches, toothaches, backaches, and joint pain. Wow, lots of things. Well, if you tell the FDA that, they got to prove every single one of them. Really makes the trials take a long time. So you just give them one. You got to choose your indicators. That's what they call that, indicators. And they've chosen their indicators. They're now going to go into phase 2 trial, but it's going to cost them a lot of money. They got AstraZeneca, who has lots of money, stepping in now to help them get these drugs through phase trial. Of course, they're going to get something for that. It ain't just helping for the good of it. They tell us here that a HK4 glucokinase activator initially developed by AstraZeneca for diabetes is now being repurposed for the company for autoimmune disorders. Conduit intends to initiate a phase 2 clinical trial to evaluate the AZD1656 for treatment of systematic lupus. And there's another big word there. They are zooming in. They have multiple candidates and they're choosing them up right now. So now they're going to go into phase 2. Phase 1 takes about a year. That's to see if you're safe, you're not killing anybody, no chronic diarrhea or sneezing. Phase 2 is how well does your drug work for what you say it does? Just give me one indicator, because once you get it on the market for that, then you can come back and say it also works for this, this, and this. And while it's being tested, you're making money on it. So let's not hold up the ballpark trying to prove how fantastic your drug is. Once you get through phase 2, your drug works. That takes about 3 years. Then you compete. You put your drug up against every other drug that's out there doing the same thing your drug does. And that can take up to 5 years. Unless, of course, there's no drugs out there that do what you do. Then you get orphan designation, fast track designation. The FDA is helping you get that drug through faster because people have nothing to help them with their problem. So that's what a lot of these companies are looking for. Drugs that have unmet needs. People that have unmet needs, they come up with a drug that nobody else has made anything for, and they corner that market. But still, it takes years to find the drug and then test it, and millions and millions and millions of dollars before they make a red cent. So that's what you got going on with the company here. What was its relative volume today? Down just a little less than 50%. She's normally doing 20.2 million. Today she did 11.4 million shares. Share structure for the company? It's not bad. Outstanding share count is 73 million. Don't know what the float is. We know it's not over the outstanding share count. Anything under 100 million for a float is a decent float. We get so spoiled with these low floats. So many companies have done reverse stock splits that there are tons of companies with low floats right now. Financials for the company? Oh, market cap. We're at about 11 million. Now let's take a look at those financials. Well, I don't know why we hurried over here. We got nothing annually. We got nothing quarterly. We got no money coming in. Research and development. Money in the bank, they've got 1.8 million. Total assets, 4.9. Here comes the scary part. Total liabilities, 8. So we have got just a little over 3 million stockholder deficit, which again is key. Key for this sector. It's par for the course. You find a research and development company that's got assets for us. Hey, that's a company to be sticking with for a while. Disclosures for CDT. Form 3 tells you how many shares somebody owns. I don't know why they do these, but they declare the ownership. This is a director. No, somebody that owns 10% of the company. So they are part owner, and they own 12.5 million shares, if that is of any value to you. I'm sure there's a reason they put those out. Oh, here's good news. This came out the 13th, SC13G or an SC13D. One is a silent investor. One wants to have some voice in what happens. These are always good news. These are always new investors that come in, buy enough shares that they get enough power in the company to become a shareholder voter. They got 14.8% of the business, Nerlin Limited. So that's a big thing. You just had someone who looked at the company, obviously did enough research to believe their investment was safe here, and they just bought 14% of this company. And how many shares were there? So 14% of 73 million, that's what they bought. So that's what's going on over here with CDT. I thought the chart was hot earlier, but I have not looked at it here recently.
Okay, well, spoiler, it's going to look weird. Okay, here we go.
Okay, go for it. All you.
This is the full daily chart back from its inception, which was back here in spring of 2022.
At a $10 price at the line.
I believe it IPO'd at like $10.
Right. So she came on the market as a SPAC and then went crazy.
Okay. So it reached a high of around $25. Its 52-week high is $12.89, which was right here in September. Ever since then, we've just been completely. There was something happened here in September, and it gapped down. Kind of looked like it could have been a cup and handle, but it just could not come back. And ever since then, we consolidated here for a while around the $263 mark. Now we're down here at 15 cents. And its 52-week low was around 13 cents. So let me zoom in now. And then a couple things I noticed here. This is just, the 1 hour chart, and I have it on Heikenashi's now. So one thing I've noticed is this is one of those that is going to move in the pre-market and after hours time. So like this big spike right here, which was August 8th on a Thursday, it jumped up around 5 a.m. Central, came all the way up to like 42 cents. But then during the day, here's what happened. Okay. And then again here, this was after hours.
Wow.
And then pre-market on Wednesday, the 14th. So that was yesterday.
Jeez.
So after hours on Tuesday up until pre-market on Wednesday. And then during the day, all the way down. So this one moves a lot more during the pre-market and after hours sessions.
Sure does.
From what I'm seeing. And it's the same thing here, but to a lesser degree.
Wow. So they're really working at pre-market, aftermarket, but it doesn't hold any of the strength during the days.
No, none at all. In fact, it just dips during the day. But this was pretty significant. I mean, it just ran from after hours, and then pre-market just and then all during the day it came right back down. So here's where we are now. Can zoom into maybe the 15-minute. We'll see what's going on. This is what happened today.
Yeah, maybe watch tomorrow's pre-market for a run and then get out because it's going to crash during the day.
Yeah, if it starts to run. This is pretty cool. It went right like to the fraction of a cent to the 200 on the 15-minute.
And the 200 is just about leveling off, and she is getting pinched between the 50 and the 200, bouncing off of that 50. Mm-hmm. She could break out pre-market. I wouldn't expect anything during the day. She hates to climb with anybody watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that was actually pretty, I mean, you can see it even better on the 15-minute. Look at this.
And that's what we look, you know, every chart is like a person. They've all got their habits and their own quirks and stuff. And if you can learn a particular stock and find advantages where you could take advantage, man, you just stick with that stock. You don't need all the rest. Just play that one stock that you understand. That's what counts.
Yeah, this is the after hours on, this is just this past Tuesday. And then pre-market, the volume, it just exploded on the 15-minute chart. It went all the way up to 23 cents. And then during the day, it just died off. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. I think this is one of those that's going to move. I mean, it has been moving just pre-market and after hours time. So doesn't really do as much during the day. Now today it had a pretty decent day. I mean, we opened here at like 14 cents. I mean, it came up to, I mean, that's still somewhat of a percentage. And when you don't have to pay OTC, how
far did it get?
It went up to like a little over 16 cents.
Oh yeah, but
like 10%.
Right, and she's on the NASDAQ, right? She was on the OTC.
So you don't have
that
to pay,
wouldn't be enough to scalp.
Right, that's what I was saying. So you don't have to pay your OTC fees, and so that's significant. I mean, 15% is 15%.
All right, we're approaching 5:30 now. We are now going to let Taylor tell us what she has decided were the hot stocks. I don't know what you people have been dropping. I see there's a lot more comments.
We didn't have a lot of activity with that. I think the first one we'll look at is VERI, and that was from I think it was from I don't remember who sent it. I wrote it down in the Jerome did it.
Jerome, Horace. Yes. Very good.
Jerome requested.
I'm glad to see we got yours, Jerome. Fantastic. All right. We don't have any preliminary due diligence done on these, so we're going to just go through them the way I would. I don't do them the same way that I've been doing these with you. I am anal. I start from one side and I cover all the bases as I need to. So the first thing we'll look at is what this company is. Veritone. This is a company out of Colorado. She finished today at $3.53. Not a bad day. She's up almost 16%, and she's on the NASDAQ. So what does the company do? And the best place to get that information if you can't get it, and I do, well, we don't get any information here. Let's see. We got a 10Q here. This just came out. Let's see. Veritone Delaware Corporation, together with its subsidiaries, is a provider of artificial intelligence and computing solutions. The company's proprietary AI operating system, called eyewear, uses machine learning algorithms and AI models together with a suite of powerful applications to reveal valuable insights from vast amounts of information that is unstructured. Eyewear platform offers capabilities that mimic human cognitive functions such as perception, prediction, and problem solving, enabling users to quickly and efficiently, cost-effectively transform unstructured data into structured data. So there you go. That's what the company does. Wasn't easy to find. Actually, it was, but I was under the gun to find it. So let's see here. We don't have any news. So what we could do real quick here, we'll pull up a Twitter account and go ahead. Don't be bashful. You're going. All right. So while that's going, we'll come over here and see if this company has an account that we can tap into. Well, hi there. How you doing today? Mr. Piggy. All right. Hopefully this takes us to, no. All right, let's see here. 3 reasons for strong quarterly figures. Are they about ready to bring out their financials? Veritone leverages. Veritone, not an expense, but an asset. Something going on here. Yesterday announced that the entertainment technology executive Mike O'Keefe, the former CIO of United Talent Agency, has been elected to its board of directors. Oh, there's one of my posts. So Veritone, let me see. Exclusive digital asset management provider. All right, looks like they've got a lot of subsidiaries going on here. I posted this. I tried to throw some information together there so that people would get an idea. They are working with security. World Horse Racing selects Veritone as exclusive digital asset management provider. Well, let's see here. When in doubt, probably would have to go over to their website. I'm not quite sure what is going on with them. They are flying right now. Volume has jumped 5 times. Her daily volume over the month has been about 500,000. Today, she's doing over 2.5 million. Share structure for the company, nice. Outstanding share count's only 37 million. Don't know what the float is, but it won't be higher than 37 million. And even if it is the float at 37, that's a nice float. But chances are it's going to be less. Market cap, 115 million. Financials. Is this company making any money? Oh, yeah. Every single year it's been increasing. 2020, we were at 57 million, went to 115, 149, did dip. Didn't see that. At the end of 2023, we were down to 127, making strong profits, definitely in the black. Looking at their quarterlies, hovering around 30 million, a little above, a little below, hovering around 30 million steady. And the profits about mid 25 million every quarter. That's not bad. Balance sheet for Veri. They got about $90 million in the bank, 360 million in assets. Most of it's gone in liabilities, 340. So we do have a little bit. I mean, we got more than some. 14 million, 15 million in stockholder equity. So they are making revenues. They are making profit. They do have stockholder equity. Those are all the boxes you want to tick. That's not a bad thing. Disclosures. All right. We had that 10Q that just came out. They were late. They had it out 5 days. There's from the 9th to the 14th. So they got that on time. 8K here that came out on the 8th. Let's see. Hopefully this is some sort of, this is going to be the financial reports. All right. Financial reports for this last quarter. Total revenue was 31 million. What did we read? 29 million. What wasn't it? What wasn't that last one? 29 million for the quarter. First quarter was 31 million. So our second quarter here is at 31 million. Public sector record sales pipeline exceeds 100 million. They are working with the U.S. federal government. They've got some real strong contracts. I mean, this company's associated with a lot of big name companies, and that always makes me feel good. I know I'm not dealing with a scam fly-by-night company if all these big companies are working with them. Continue organizational cost restructuring, driving year-over-year improvements of 37 and 47%. Things are growing for the company. Things are getting better. They're making more money. They're exceeding their sales pipeline, which is how you get money to come in. So everything is looking good for the company. I think that's everything we've got to look at here. We'll take a look at that Form 4 just to see if anybody is, see, it's an F. That's an F right there. That's something else. I don't know what it is. I'm not even going to take the time to learn. But we do have 2 S13s here, SC13s. Somebody just got 13% of the company. Who was that? Chad Steelberg. Congratulations, Chad. And this one could be Chad because it's an amended. Nope, this is somebody else. Ryan Steelberg. And he just got himself 13%. So between the two, you got 28, 29% of the company just got bought up here in the last month virtually. So there are people looking at the company. The company's not in bad shape. I mean, she's on solid ground. She's in the black. She's got assets for us. She's got assets for herself. She just needs to start growing right now. And we couldn't find a whole lot of information. Go over. I'll bet you. Normally, you can find the website here but if you just put in Veritone, I'm sure you can find the website. And the website may have news. A lot of these companies put their news on their website. So I'd go checking that out. So that's what I can give you. What can my buddy Taylor give you?
Okay, so this is the daily chart with regular candles.
Well, it's looking
And
good.
what I thought was interesting was right after this earnings report that wasn't amazing, that's when it started this run all the way up to like 776. That's its 52-week high, by the way. And I marked off this support area, and I think it's around 225. And then its 52-week low was 148.
Was that Q1's report you're looking at there, the big surge?
Yes.
Right, that's at the beginning of the year?
No, that was ending December 2023.
Their annual, okay.
Yeah. And then it just had one last Thursday, looks like. Not good, but I don't know what happened because right after that we started to run. So let me zoom in here and I'll show you. This is the 1 hour with Heikin-Ashi candles. So when it came back down here, this is the support that I marked off. So it's not quite 52-week low, which is down here. Kind of marked this off, and it did hit it several times. And now we started to run on Tuesday, and this is one that will run during the day and after hours. This is during the day. This is during the pre-market. Kind of came up, and today we're way up here. So you can see this is a higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. So this
looks like she's riding that 20, bouncing off of that 20 right uphill.
Yeah. So it's looking really good. So I think this is a hot chart coming down from this support area at 225 all the way up to 350 for just the last 3 days. It's been running.
Yeah, we didn't get deep into the financials. On the surface, they didn't look bad. You got to get deeper in it though, because they always like to put the good stuff up at the top anyways. That's where the foam goes. But the chart is reacting. And when you look at the annual financials, Taylor was showing us how much it ran, even though they weren't that good, she said. They weren't great. And look at how far that thing ran on those financials.
Yeah, and we don't know what else they said during that report. You know, they usually will announce something. So I don't have any idea. They don't give a little play-by-play. Just with the numbers. It's just the numbers only. So we can go by that or not. They weren't terrible. They weren't like amazing. Right. But yeah, so I think this is a hot chart. I think the company's good. It's on the NASDAQ. That's good too.
Yeah, she's in position. She's breaking out. She's got all the SMAs climbing. She's got attention, volume.
Volume is all you
need. Yep. You need those if you want a stock to run and not just move. So this one's at least worthy of putting on the watch list. Very okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we can just keep coming back down and running back up like it's been doing here and here. It could come right back down to this 21, which is like 326.
That's what I would expect ultimately. I mean, she could still climb a little more, but I'd be looking for a bounce, an entry off of the 20.
Yeah, that's what I would predict, but I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. This is a good run for the last 3 days though. So I like this one.
Really? Someone's talking about my video? Which one are they talking about, Velmore? The one I just put out? I wish something would go viral. That'd be outstanding. You got another one there for us, Taylor?
I think AHRO, that was also Velmore's second one. That one was pretty good.
So whatever reason I was avoiding it, it didn't work. Okay.
Well, I mean, we didn't get a lot of requests today.
That's okay. I saw a lot of conversating going on. That's good.
Yeah, we were talking about other things, but I think
I saw the hamburger recipe. Cool. This is AHRO. This was the other one that Belmore wanted to talk about, and it got in here. Luck of the draw. This is Authentic Holdings. They finished today at 0019. Was up almost 12% today. On the bottom tier of the OTC, the pink, we've got one of those validated piece of information. Transfer agent, no verified profile. Not a deal breaker, not that it's not there. It just makes me feel reassured. I've lost a lot of money on pinks, folks. And when I say a lot of money, I'm talking $40,000, $50,000 since COVID. I mean, pinks are not, there's a reason they're on the bottom and the risk is, folks. Really, it is the news that drives pinks, and news cannot be taken as validated information. That's where the problem came in. I just had to learn the hard way. So, Arrow, Authentic Holdings, what is you about? Well, they seem to be an American company here in New Jersey. Global Fiber Technologies is a holding company that specializes in fiber, textiles, and apparel technologies through its subsidiaries. One subsidiary, Fiber Chain, is developing a digital-based fiber exchange platform to facilitate buy and sell transaction of textile fibers on a global basis. In addition, the company is developing a portfolio of licensed as well as proprietary technologies and trade secrets that will bring cutting-edge attributes and value-added properties to the textile and apparel industries that will be branded as the EcoTech 360. We will be offering high-tech apparel to the corporate, hotel, hospitality, and military markets. That's interesting. All right, let's take a quick gander. Since they've got a website, well, they don't. So here was their website. It's outdated. Maybe they're not doing this business anymore. A lot of times you find the description isn't right. That was the name we were just reading. Probably just wasted our bloody time on it. Let's see what we got over here. Authentic Brands. Well, that's 2020. So either a new company came in and that description is for the new company and this is not their name, or that is really, really old, because this news for Authentic is 2020. We've got one piece of news down here. I just read this news. I read this because I remember having to pronounce that word, Zizan. And I had to say it out loud a few times. So I think we may have actually looked at this a couple of weeks ago. I talked about this for sure. Maybach's Global Entertainment. All right, so we can get Authentic Holdings is both vertically and horizontally integrated media and merchandising company, which combines broadcasting, content-owned entertainment, patented technology, and merchandising, using its Maybach's television networks to generate and revenue as well as support its other product lines. All right, we did just look at this. It seems to me last week or the week before. This is a company that went into TV business. Maybach's Global is a subsidiary of Authentic Holdings. They've made a deal with Zizan Technology. They signed a license partnership agreement that gives Maybach's a massive footprint to market its iDream CTV smart TV app to Zizan's 180 million users worldwide. Then they go through here and they tell you about what they're doing. They are working with TikTok. They're working with advertising. They're working with lots of different channels. They're working with Roku. I do believe I saw a bunch of big names down here. There it is. Zizan partners with leading content providers such as Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, Globoplay, DAZN, plus esteemed TV brands like Philips, TCL, and Sharp. By merging with Foxum and Arlax, Zizan elevated its expansive growth and reach in the smart TV and streaming market. So the company, their subsidiary, Maybach's Global, has made a deal with Zizan's, which is really big. And now they get to sell their product through that entire market. It is a big deal. I don't know how much more about it that there is outside of this news press. Let's see if we have any disclosures over here. Well, they're late on their financials. This just came out today. Not filing our 10Q. That's what that MT stands for. A quarterly will buy them 5 days. If it was a K, an annual, it would buy them 15 days. That's all we get here, basically. We've got a couple of 8Ks all the way back in February, but nothing here recent. And then there's certifications, which are really, really old. So let's see what the relative volume was around the company today. Double what she normally does, almost 15 million a day as an average over the last 30 days. Today, she's done over 30 million. Share structure for Authentic. I was reading something about Authentic Heroes. Where did I see that news? Bloody heck, I just read that. Maybe they had news out today. Authentic Heroes. Outstanding share count is high. They've got 2.5 billion they could put on the market. They got 2.2 billion on the market. Insiders own only 41 million of those. Why aren't they loading up at this cheap price right now? Unrestricted shares, that's us, 2.2 billion shares. If you want to go by the DTC's number, 2.2 billion shares. It's the same thing. Market cap, 3.8 million. Financials, we don't have any money coming here recently. Oh, I take that back. Very recently. They've had no money annually. They've had no money quarterly until the first quarter of this year. First revenues on the books in a very long time. Obviously working through this deal we just read about. They got $40,000 and they got to keep $9,000. No, it's not a lot, but it's a start. It's better than them ugly goose eggs. Balance sheet for the company, goose egg. You got nothing in the bank. Assets, well, they got something there, 5.2 million, but they lost it all in liabilities, 6.4. So we're holding stockholder deficit, which for a company that's just getting into revenues, it's not bad, $1.1 million of deficit. Already been through the disclosures. Don't really know what else to tell you except that Taylor's going to talk to you about the charts. I think I got that right.
Am I? Let's see. Here we go. There we go. So the last time we looked at this was on August 8th. So I think that was just last week.
Aha! I knew it.
Yeah.
Deja vu.
Yeah. So I think these are regular candles here. So we looked at it here and I was saying this 0016 was a resistance and it was right around there. It held the support at 0012 and we have completely broken that 2 days in a row. So that's great. Let me go down to the 1 hour and we'll do Heikin-Ashi so we can see what's going on. So yeah, you can see we've come up above that and held above that. Looks kind of like a wedge pattern here, so that's good.
Yeah, it's a nice breakout. She got up really high, nice. And instead of falling back down to the 50, she just went sideways, waiting for the 50 to come up underneath her. She cut through it and took off. I mean, that was a nice play. You had lots of time to watch this one and set up for it.
Yeah, this was a good one. And, you know, this does move during the day. I mean, this is like pre-market a little bit, but I mean, this is something you could have gotten in. I mean, it's OTC, so you can't do pre-market anyway. But yeah, this has been pretty much climbing since Tuesday. It was just hanging around here at this 0012 area, and now we're like hitting the 0021 up here a couple different times. So
I'm liking that chart. I'll put that on my watch list tomorrow. I'll be watching Arrow, especially at that price.
Yeah,
it's in my neighborhood. I like those.
Yeah, I know you like 001.
I'm not crazy about pinks, but you know, folks, when you learn what bites, you take precautions. You know, you put on the right gear. Use your stop losses. Stop losses are that safety net. It drops fast. It doesn't always guarantee it's going to work. But if you turned your back, you were talking, you were taking a pee, making a coffee, it drops, it sells automatically. You need to not hope for the bounce back after a crash. Think of yourself as a soldier. You're looking for gains. Soldiers are looking to eliminate the enemy. That's your objective. But your priority is to stay alive, not get hurt. That's number one for a soldier, above taking out the enemy. Your gains are not more important than your risk. Control your risk and your gains will come to you. Don't get it in reverse, folks. Anything else you want to add to the show today? I see you guys had a lot of conversation over there. Maybe you got something to say to these people.
Lots of
Monty, look at you go. We're going to have you as a co-host. Boy, oh boy. I appreciate your time, folks. We are now running into a new record. We have never had a show this long. 5 hour and 49 minutes. It's going to be an hour and 50 minutes here. Thank you for your time. It is precious to me, folks. I hope not our time, but the information we share with you. We come here for you. So you don't have to thank us for that. But we want to know that what we're actually bringing you counts for something. We don't want to waste our time. We'll be back next week, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Thursday on this channel. Lock us in on that remote control. We'll see you then, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's what I was waiting for.